Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin with breaking news tonight as a search is underway for 3 missing teenage girls out of Moorhead. Police say the girls include twin sisters Tana Gate and Tabetta Gate, both 14 years of age. They're both 5 feet 6 inches tall, weigh 130 pounds, with black hair. It's unknown what they were last seen wearing.
A third girl named Jaleesa Marie Love Escobedo is also missing. She's a 14-year-old Hispanic female, 5 feet tall, 100 pounds, with dark hair. It's not known what she was last wearing either. All 3 were together and have deactivated some social media. They're not communicating with parents. There's no indication they're in danger. However, the families are concerned for their welfare. If you know where they are, you can call this phone number, 701-451-7660, and ask to speak to the supervisor on duty.
Weather continues to be a big story tonight as troopers and emergency responders are continuing to have their hands full. During a span of just 12 hours earlier today, the North Dakota Highway Patrol responding to 20 wrecks spanning 3 counties.
Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero joins us now from the scene of a crash between a jackknifed semi and another vehicle. Joshua?
Mike and Andrew, this is going to make it 21. Take a look right behind me. This is a jackknife semi. They're just getting ready to pull it away. We saw this at around 8:45 when this semi, this is right off University exit on I-94, there was some sort of crash with a pickup truck. Now, as you mentioned, the North Dakota Highway Troopers say 17 of them now, these crashes happened in Cass County alone. The other wrecks were in Barnes and Stutzman counties in North Dakota. And also, right across the river in Clay County, I also had video of another wreck involving a white SUV that was flipped on its side. But as you can see with this one in particular, it looks like the road is being cleared. Earlier, this was down to 1 lane, or it's still down to 1 lane. We don't know whether anyone was injured or not, but we're going to continue monitoring this car accident. And again, for those heading out, just take it slow on the road, especially the on-ramps and exit ramps. That's where it's slippery. That's where even my car started moving. So if I can, Andrew, again, I'm going to send it right back to you in the studio, and I caution those heading on the road to just take it slow. Reporting live in Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Joshua. And before you head out the door tomorrow, plan your day right with the Valley News Live Storm Team Weather app. You can download the latest version for free so that you don't miss important alerts. Just search VNL Weather in your app store. Not every driver had a hard time getting around today, like this Amish man on a joyride after the recent snowfall. A driver in Harmony, Minnesota, caught the man riding behind a horse-drawn buggy on skis. Here in Fargo-Moorhead, it's still snowing, but should let up in a couple hours. Let's get the latest from Hutch on what we can expect as we walk out the door tomorrow morning. Hutch?
Well, a picture says 1,000 words, and the roads remain very slippery. Here's a bird's eye view from our Valley Skycam of the crash at the eastbound lanes of I-94 and University there as they try to get things cleaned up. Winter weather advisory continues until midnight. Snow continues along the Highway 200 corridor from Findlay and Hope through the Mayville area between Grand Forks and Fargo, but things are starting to reduce in aerial coverage here as this system falls apart. A first glance at snowfall reports 2 to 5 inches for many, including record-breaking snow for the month of February in Grand Forks and Minneapolis. Never snowed this much in February. Tonight, the snow wraps up by around 1 o'clock, and temperatures will slip out of the teens for many into the single digits, but not too far. As we start out our Thursday, fairly quiet compared to how things are right now. It does look like snow will return very quickly, however. I'll have details on our next round coming up here in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
A Mayville, North Dakota family is almost where they want to be after waiting over 7 hours for their plane to take off. On top of that, they say they didn't have access to water or bathroom during their wait.
They called our whistleblower hotline to share their story with Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer, who joins us now with details. Melanie?
Andrea, Mike, it's just the beginning, and Keith Anderson of Mayville is calling this a travel nightmare. He says his son and daughter-in-law were set to take off from Hector International Airport around 6 a.m. today. They're heading to Louisville for a trip, but more than 15 hours later, and they're still not there. On top of that, he says when they were waiting on the plane, they weren't given anything to drink and the bathroom was out of order. Now, he says they did have a chance to briefly go back into the terminal, but then it was back to the plane, where he says they waited even longer.
You kind of have to be prepared to just to go with the punches, but I guess that's why we always bring some sack lunches along with, because you never know, especially traveling at this time of the year.
We tracked the flight through United's tracker, and it says it was about 7.5 hours late. Now, federal rules mandate an airline cannot keep you in a plane on the tarmac more than 3 hours on a domestic flight without returning the aircraft to the gate and letting passengers get off. The FAA says airlines are obligated to provide food and water within 2 hours of a tarmac delay. The family we talked to tell us they understand these things happen, but we're hoping for a little more help from the airline. They still are not where they need to be. They had a layover in Chicago that they missed because of the delay, and they're on a flight right now to their final destination. Andrea, Mike?
Thank you, Melanie. We reached out to United to see what caused the delay. They tell us, in part, the delay was due to weather conditions in Fargo and air traffic congestion in Chicago. They also apologized to their passengers who were impacted by the delay. If you need help with an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our team will get on the case and do their best to get to the bottom of it.
Tonight, we're digging into the case of a 49-year-old Fargo man accused of raping 2 young children. Todd Myers facing felony child sex charges after the children described several crude actions to authorities.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly has been looking into Myers' court records and has more details for us tonight. Katie?
Mike, Andrea, Todd Meyer has admitted to taking part in several different sexual acts with 2 children, according to court documents. These incidents include a variety of disturbing actions, including rape, showing the children sexual videos, and making one of the children drink his bodily fluids out of a Dixie cup. Meyer has been in contact with these children for about 6 years, but the documents do not say when the abuse started. We are purposely leaving out some details from the court documents that are too sensitive and too grotesque. We did some research and found out he has not been on the court's radar before this recent arrest. He does not have much of a criminal record. The only one on his record that we could find was 1 misdemeanor charge in Minnesota. Meyer is facing 2 felony counts of gross sexual imposition and 2 felony counts of sexual or child neglect, Records indicate that Meyer could face 10 years in prison with 10 years of supervised probation. That is the minimum sentence. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Katie. Yes, minimum if convicted. Stick with Valley News Live as this case develops.
The Minnesota State Capitol seems a world away from the drama unfolding in Chicago with actor Jussie Smollett, who was charged today with a felony count of disorderly conduct. This after the actor allegedly filed a false report of claiming 2 men attacked him last month. But that hate crime controversy grabbed the attention of a Minnesota State representative who's pushing a bill that would boost penalties for falsely reporting hate crimes.
It causes a huge expense of resources, a significant unrest and discontent within the community, and we need to try to stop that.
Another bill to be introduced in Minnesota's legislature would make it easier for police to track hate crimes. 310 police agencies reported no hate crimes in 2017, including Bloomington, Minnesota, where a mosque was bombed that year by white supremacists.
And we had seen the puck fly into the stands a couple times earlier that night, and it's always a possibility going to a sports game that that's going to happen. You never think it's going to be you or your kid.
And now this 5-year-old girl is recovering from a skull fracture and minor brain bleed after a puck went into the stands at the Fargo Force Sunday night game. The girl's parents say despite the scary diagnosis, you wouldn't think a thing was wrong. With a teddy bear in tow, players from the Force visited her, bringing the infamous puck with their signatures and giving her and her family tickets to another hockey game. Her parents tell us she didn't suffer from a concussion and was already back at school yesterday, adding she has to take it easy the next few weeks while her head heals.
We wish her the best.
We do.
Later on Valley